Welcome to the American GameDog podcast. Today we will be continuing part 2 of the historical GameDog series with a discussion on the Colby dogs. And what a better way than to start with an old interview from Louis B. Colby. Let's dive in, fellas. I don't believe that there is anyone in the world that ever heard of a bulldog that hasn't heard of Mr. Louis B. Colby or the Colby family. Louis Colby, just like his father, has dedicated his life to the preservation and breeding of the American Pit Bull Terrier. He bred many great dogs, but the one that has had the largest impact on the game is Colby's Dime, who was the foundation of many yards and can be found in almost all the modern pedigrees. Dime was considered by many to be one of the greatest Colby studs over the past 50 years. During the 50s, Dime sire over 100 offsprings, many of them considered aces. Louis B. Colby and his entire dynasty are a credit to the breed. Where and when were you born? I was born in Newburyport, Mass., USA on March 14th, 1921. When did you get started in the dogs? I am now 89 years old and been with these dogs all my life. John P. Colby was my father. He was born in 1875 and started our strain of dogs in 1889. What prompted you to dedicate your life to the APBTS and who will carry on the Colby family tradition? Like I said, I was born with these dogs and have never been a moment without them, except for time served in World War II. I have a son, John, who moved to Texas many years ago and has a kennel of our dogs. Also, two sons, Scott and Bruce, and a grandson, Peter, all back here in New England, that also love and care for these dogs. I am sure someone will step up to the plate after I'm gone. Many people say they want to start their own bloodline or strain of dogs. How many years would it take to call it your own? To start your own strain would take a large number of dogs, and at today's prices, the money to maintain them. I can't put an exact figure on either. A 7-generation pedigree is the largest put out by any registration association. Perhaps that would suffice if all the dogs in it were bred by the same party. It may be easier to say what does not create a bloodline. A 3-generation pedigree, or someone with just a pair of dogs. What is the highest number of dogs you have had on your yard at one time? It would be 40-something. I can't recall the number of grown dogs on my yard at any one time. But years ago, I had 66 pups all at one. I had to move my gamecocks into the barn so I could use their pens to put pups in, and I wondered where in hell to sell them. That was in the day before the internet, as today the whole world is your market. Who do you think was the most influential dog of all time? Let's go plural. Not fair to single just one out. 4 Colby dogs. Pinscher whelped in 1896. Colby's Dime whelped in 1949. Dime was the best dog I ever bred and owned. People still want dogs with Dime blood. 2 of the most prominent dogs by far in the last 40 years are Garrett's Jeep, bred by Crenshaw, and Base Tramp Red Boy. If you check their pedigree, both Jeep and Red Boy are 7/16 Colby blood. What are some of your favorite areas of your history with the breed? As a boy, I was always delighted when some celebrities came to visit my father and see or purchase a dog or pup. Some included William Whiting, Secretary of Commerce when Coolidge was president, Jack Johnson, former heavyweight champion of the world. There were others. I. Bred Dime, whelped in 1949, the dog I am most known for. This was 8 years after my father died, so I was not riding on his coattails. I got my own personal dog when I was 11 years old in 1932. I shall never forget her. I still have my picture with her on my desk. Since I was born, we have had hundreds of litters, and I still get a big kick of checking each litter soon after birth for sexes, colors, etc. What type of characteristics you're looking for in a dog? Best traits: gameness, after that temperament, conformation. What type of characteristics was your father looking for when selecting dogs for his breeding program? We live 30 miles north of Boston. My father, in those days, went to Boston 4 days a week to check on dogs that immigrants, Englishmen and Irishmen, may have brought with them. He was interested in gameness, conformation, temperament, basically the same qualities that we treasure today. He often stated that the best dogs were also those with good conformation, head, body, tail, coat, etc. Curs you could easily spot with some long, coarse hair, bad floppy ears, or tail like a Shetland pony. Do you believe the old-time breeders were better than the modern breeders? Both the breeders and the dogs were better in the old days than those you see today. Who do you consider was the best breeder in your days? Floyd Boudreau and Howard Hansel. Who do you consider was the toughest in your days? Some of the toughest dogmen were Earl Tudor, Ham Morris, and George Harnage. Do you feel that the problems people experience today with the breed come from lack of respect for the breed and irresponsible ownership? Yes. While there are still many reputable breeders today, I won't attempt to name them for fear of omitting someone. There are also those using them for status and could care less about temperament or conformation. What direction do you see the quality of dogs going? That's a tough question. Many people have these dogs for the wrong son-like status, and are breeding for improper qualities such as excessive large heads and body, exotic colors, like blue and the merle pattern, and have no regard for the characteristics that brought us to today. But cream comes to the top. The days will return when the general public will accept anything that is meant to last must have a good foundation, whether it be a house, marriage, or a breed of dog. Fortunately, there are many breeders today sticking to the traditional American Pit Bull Terrier qualities, and the breed will still be around in 100 years in spite of the media and cities that want to ban them. What would you say to a young man just starting out in these dogs? Dogs are for fun, and you can get all the good traits of the breed: gameness, disposition, conformation, all of the best moves, where you had elbow room and were not disturbing the neighbors. Editor's note: the above interview, it's a fusion of two interviews. Some parts were done for the Gazette and
Go, 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 go.